Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video on Superman Lois Season 3. Today we're going to be talking about an interesting piece of news that has come out in regards to a potential Season 4 confirmation. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future DCTV videos later this year. Okay guys, so before we start this video, I want to say that I'm going to a Comic-Con event in England next weekend. It's the Ultimates Apocalypse. It is an event that I've been to 2 times in the past. I've met quite a lot of you guys there before. I'm going to be there this weekend on the Saturday and Sunday in Birmingham. So if any of you guys are planning to go to the Ultimates Apocalypse in Birmingham and see me, be sure to say hi because I'll be there for those 2 days. Lots of actors from the Arrowverse are coming. Tyler Hoechlin's going to be there, Javicia Leslie, Nicole Maines, Breck Bassinger. There is lots of exciting people and there's going to be some good panels. If they say anything interesting, I'm for sure going to be making videos on them over that weekend. So that does it for the announcement. Let's go ahead and get into today's main topic. So this is a tweet coming from Devs on Twitter. I'm going to leave the link in the description below. It's very interesting. This is where I found it. And he is referring to a Instagram post that was posted by Top Tier Actor Studio, and they are an actor studio where basically actors come and they give talks, and it's basically like a masterclass. And so they've invited Michael Bishop, who took over this season on Superman and Lois as Jonathan Kent. He's been really good so far, and I think everyone's accepted him as the new Jonathan. And so he was invited to one of their acting masterclasses as one of the guests of the event, and they left something very interesting in their Instagram post. And so it says, Actors Masterclass Alert. That's right, we have an exciting opportunity to workshop with the amazing Michael Bishop, who's busy filming the latest season of Superman Lois, but has kindly offered us his time and expertise before heading back to start shooting season 4. There you have it. That is what they've said, and this is super interesting. So obviously this is not official confirmation. This is very much so unofficial. Obviously the acting masterclass doesn't know the ins and outs of what's going on with the CW and Superman Lois's scheduling. They could totally be making an assumption here that he is just free for a bit and then he's going to be going back and continuing with Superman Lois, because obviously they did finish filming Superman Lois season 3 maybe like a couple months ago as of right now, and the show is still on. They are airing season 3, and so yes, he has free time, so it makes sense that he's going to be doing maybe some cons and some events like this, and so he is going to be attending this acting studio. But what's most interesting is them saying he has kindly offered us his time and expertise before heading back to start shooting season 4. So you wonder if in the conversations about, getting Michael to this event, has his management or whoever is in charge of the way that he schedules his months and days said to the studio, yeah, you can have Michael for a day because he is free, but he's going to be very busy after this with going back to Superman Lois season 4. That very much so could be what's going on. I just don't really know how to think about this. I am optimistic right now. However, looking at the state of the CW right now, I just really don't know what to expect. You would really hope they do like a Lucifer if the CW does actually cancel the show and they don't want it on their network anymore. Hopefully someone like Max will come in and be like, yeah, we're going to take the show, we're going to continue the show, or even someone else like Netflix or something like that. That is my hope if the CW doesn't want to continue, and honestly I feel like it's going to be better for Superman and Lois if they go elsewhere, so I'm kind of hoping someone else wants to pick them up. But at the same time, if the CW cancels it, that doesn't mean it's all good and dusted, because it's still a big move to move a show from another network. We've seen it before with Supergirl moving from CBS to CW, however those are pretty linked, and so that's why I'm saying Max, because Superman Lois already goes to Max, well, HBO Max, after it finishes airing on CW, so they do have very strong connections, and they are both run by Warner Brothers in some way, and so it just makes sense. And I think that would be an easier transition than, say, going to Netflix or something like that, because they would have to probably rent out and buy the rights to Superman and all those characters to have the show on their network or on their streaming service. But considering this also comes after, you know, when James Gunn commented that the series was really good and he could see it going on for at least like 2 more seasons. Obviously they gave us a lot of optimism in terms of like the head of DC Studios saying, yeah, I could see it going on for 2 more seasons, but then people failed to realize that he doesn't really have any control over what the CW does. But if it was in the hands of Max, then he does have a say, because it would be a DC project in the realm of DC Studios, and yes, it would still be an Elseworlds project, but he still could have some sort of say in terms of how long the show could go on for. But before we move on, I just really want to emphasize that nothing is set in stone, even though there is optimistic signs like this Instagram post and, you know, the comments from James Gunn and some rumblings behind the scenes, and the fact that Superman Lois is a really good show and everyone has said that. Things could go sideways and things could happen in terms of it not working out in the end because of what's happening on the CW right now. So just really consider that. But let me know down in the comments below, are you hoping for Superman Lois season 4? I'm really hoping for at least 2 more seasons of the show, and hopefully they can expand the Superverse if it continues. So yeah, I'm hoping for some sort of continuation in the next couple of seasons. But that does it for this part of the video. Let's move on to the next part. This is again Superman and Lois related, because we've got new photos for the episode titled Forever and Always, which is coming out later tonight. So it's the May 2nd episode. It's currently May 2nd when I'm recording this video. This is a super late release of photos because I guess they just didn't want to release it earlier. I have no idea why they didn't do it. But anyway, we got a bunch of photos that are going to be providing us with a sneak peek into tonight's episode. Also, there was an official video preview for the episode that was released, like a sneak peek, where the actors of Lana and John Henry Irons previewed that. You can check that out in the link in the description below. In that preview, you get to see some footage between Bruno Mannheim talking to Clark. Obviously, this is not Superman, and he doesn't know, as far as we know, that Clark is Superman. Clearly, that's going to be a major part of the episode, because I think Bruno Mannheim has come to the point where he is maybe going to consider stopping Lois investigating, because she's getting way too close in terms of what they're doing, and it could jeopardize his mission. And so I think he's gone to Clark to warn him, basically, and obviously he doesn't know he's Superman, so Superman's going to take it differently, but he thinks he's just Clark Kent. He thinks he's a normal person from Smallville, and he can maybe intimidate him. So that's going to be an interesting scene, seeing it from a different perspective. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about these photos. So the first photo we have is of Clark, and he is in Smallville at his farm. He is here with the rest of the family. You can see that in the next photos that follow. As you can see, we have Clark in the same clothes with Lois, and they're talking to Jordan and General Lane, who I presume are out training or are about to go to training. And in terms of Clark and Lois, as you can see in this next photo, I don't know what their facial expressions are saying, but clearly it's like a pretty important conversation. I don't know if this is before or after Lois's chemo session, the bit where Bruno Mannheim is going to be talking to Clark when they're at Hobbs Bay Hospital, but you would presume it's probably afterwards, because it is dark and there is these other photos of the Kent boys along with Clark and Lois, who very much so seem to be ready and packed to go somewhere, and you can presume they're going to the hospital. But in the meantime, both Jordan and Jonathan are going to be going to the new fortress, as you can see in this photo. And in the trailer for this episode, Jonathan inside the fortress says, "What if there is another way?" And Clark is here too, by the way. So could there be some sort of way within inside the fortress and the Kryptonian tech for them to actually prevent Lois's cancer from getting worse? And in the trailer as well, they say that her cancer is actually worse than they've told the kids, and they realize at this point in this episode. And so I think Jordan and Jonathan are going to be thinking of other angles about trying to save their mum. And that's going to be really interesting, because as of right now, everyone's just been super supportive of Lois and it's been pretty standard. But now they're going to be going the extra mile in terms of maybe finding a way to help her through the use of whatever they can get their hands on. And so the next photo we have is in Smallville. We have Lana and John Henry together. In that preview for the episode, it mentions that John Henry goes to Lana for some advice in terms of what's going on with Natalie and her potential new boyfriend, who shows up for a lunch with John Henry and Natalie, and so yeah, they're getting to know each other a bit better, including Lana and John Henry, because they have been hanging out quite a lot. So pretty sure they're building towards something there, just like they've built towards something with Kyle and Chrissy. And the final photo that we have is inside the Kent family house, and we have a very kind of angry or sad looking Jonathan who is talking quite intensely to his mum, and you see Clark and Jordan in the background, both with a similar looking look on their face. They're either coming to her in this situation with some sort of Kryptonian alternative that they figured out inside the fortress, or they're being told the reality of the situation and how bad Lois's cancer potentially is. And so just before we end this, I want to just quickly go over the synopsis so we can hammer home a few of these points that I've been making throughout this video. So it goes like this: hidden truths. Lois and Clark dig deeper on Bruno Mannheim, starting with his connections to Hobbs Bay Medical Center, while Jordan and Jonathan panic at home over Lois's diagnosis. Meanwhile, Mateo comes to Smallville to meet John Henry for the first time, and Sarah and Chrissy start to break the ice. So there you have it, that is what's going on. So as I said before, Lois and Clark are going to be going back to Hobbs Bay, and according to the synopsis are going to be digging deeper than they've ever done as of right now. And while that is happening, Jonathan and Jordan are going to be panicking at home. We know this. We know they'll go to the fortress, try and figure something out. And as I said before, Mateo is going to be meeting John Henry for the first time in Smallville. And then Sarah and Chrissy are going to start to break the ice, which is interesting because at the end of last episode, Chrissy and Sarah's dad, Kyle, they made it official because obviously they've been going around kind of hiding, and so now they're starting to break the ice. That's good. It's going to be awkward for a bit, but we're definitely expecting that. So that pretty much does it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. It really helps out the channel. Also subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. As I've said many times, we're uploading daily right now, so if you missed any videos recently, go to the channel page and watch any video that interests you. I really appreciate the support, but for now you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.
I see red.